Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Another episode of Beyond Boardroom Business. I'm your host, Coach Stephanie. And tonight, wow, I am going to interview a dynamic woman. She's only 24 years old, and she already is in tune with herself and knows that she's about business. She's an entrepreneur, and I'm going to interview her and get to see all the different things that she goes through as a young entrepreneur. So, without further ado, and she will explain everything that she does. It's really exciting. She even has AI, artificial intelligence, connected to her business. She is already futuristically envisioning a successful business. So, without further ado, I want to bring on Miss Kyrsten Burch. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
I am feeling fabulous as always. Thank you for asking. I am so excited to have you here. I love the opportunity of being able to speak with someone 24 years old that already knows what they want to do. That's what I'm talking about. So please explain, who is Kyrsten Burch?
Yes, ma'am. Well, my name is Kyrsten. I'm 24 years old. Born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am a ecopreneur. So I am passionate about the environment, climate change, and everything I do kind of revolves around that passion.
Awesome. I love it. And we met at an event and I tasted one of your drinks and it was so delicious. And beyond being delicious, it was healthy. So tell us a little bit about Leaky's AI Juicery.
Right. So I'm very glad you enjoyed the product. The entire point of the juice bar is to actually kind of bridge the gap between our community and where we get our produce from. So a huge part of what I do is I support our local farmers market here in Georgia. I make sure that the juices that you guys drink and buy, they come from fruit and vegetables grown in your community right down the street. And that actually has a huge impact on the environment. It has a huge impact on the taste. It's cheaper, it's local, and the benefits just could go on and on. So basically what Leaky's AI Juicery is meant to do is to kind of almost lead people to shopping more with their local farmers, supporting local families and local businesses so that we end up not shopping with the larger chains that get our produce from God knows where, honestly. They probably get our produce from China or just another country in general, and we just have no idea what they're really doing before it gets to our plate. So that's where the business comes in. It kind of just takes you away from your normal shopping stores and kind of leads you to the farmers.
Wow. Well, now I had a delicious flavor. I can't recall what it was, but it was delicious. And I actually wanted to taste all of them, but I didn't want to be greedy. So what kind of all the flavors that you have?
Okay, so I have about 4 leading flavors right now, and then I'll have another line of flavors down the line. I just want to make sure that the flavors are seasonal for the best quality. Nice. So right now, I have a carrot flavor. So it's carrot based. It's carrots, pineapples, and oranges. It's called 24K, and it's just amazing for vitamin C and vitamin D. And, you know, that's good for your nails, your hair, and your skin. And then I have the famous green juice called Earth Core. So that's kale, celery, apples, and cucumber. You still get that really earthy taste, but I just made it to where it's a bit more bearable since green juices aren't exactly the most tasty. I made sure to kind of come up with something that's enjoyable and healthy at the same time because I know me. I don't like nothing nasty. I can't do it.
Right.
And, so that's 2. And then we also have the watermelon flush. This is really a watermelon lemonade. It's just black seeded watermelons and lemons. and that one's really good, especially during the summertime when they're in season. But I
Nice.
eat watermelon year round. It's just
Yeah.
so good for you,
Yeah.
as far as hydration,
Yeah.
especially. And then the last flavor that we have is the most popular. It's called Spider-Man. It's called Spider-Man because of the color, but it's black seeded grapes and Fuji apples. It is so good, so
Mm.
good, especially for antioxidants. It's like a gentle cleansing for your gut, and
Mm.
it's just really good. And another thing I like to do is I like to make sure I name the juices after popular songs, movies, celebrities, whatever it is that I can find that people can relate to, so that they remember the juices a bit easier, and
Okay.
it just makes it a bit more fun to drink knowing that it's named after your favorite movie.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So what got you started? Why do you care so much about how people eat?
Well, I care so much because I come from a family that doesn't have the healthiest relationship with food.
Okay.
And in my own personal battle, trying to get out of that and just trying to break that generational curse, I realized like it might not be my relationship, it may just be availability. It
Mm.
may just be um, how ethical our farming practices are, or how ethical uh, our food is produced. You know,
Right.
I can't just blame how I'm eating, because even after watching how I eat carefully, there's still something that doesn't really add up. And it
Okay.
may be the pesticides, it may be added sugars, it may be things in there that I just don't know about. So that's what really got me into not only watching what I eat, but watching where it comes from.
Okay.
Because the two go hand in hand to me.
Hmm. Yeah, that's true. I never thought about that, where it's growing, the
Yeah,
soil, the water that's supplying it. Yeah,
the
that's
chemicals.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So people can detox and cleanse their body, reset their energy levels with your drinks.
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Themselves. I love it. I love it.
And the
So,
best part about the detox is the seeds are in the drinks. I think
ooh,
that's what really activates the detox. You're
mm,
not only drinking the juice, you're drinking the seeds, the
that's
rinds, the peel. All of
true.
that is in there as well.
Yeah, because isn't it more nutrition in the peel and the rind than the actual fruit itself?
Sure is. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the part that people don't eat. I mean, I don't really eat it either. It's kind of gross, but when you juice it,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Yeah, it makes it better, and you make it palatable, so it's delicious and it's healthy. That's really amazing. So,
Right.
how did you obtain your green thumb?
Okay. Actually, I found out I had a green thumb when I was around 17 in high
Okay.
school. I was selected for some kind of program they had going on where they were sending us out of the country, and that had been my first time out of the
Wow.
country at 17. And I went to Nicaragua out in Central America, and I just had never seen so much greenery. I mean, the animals were walking among the people, and there were farms everywhere. People grew their own food there, and
Mm,
it was just a lot of vegetation, a lot of nature, but they still lived there, if that makes sense. Um,
yeah,
yeah, it
amazing.
looks like they lived in nature. And, you know, being from the city, growing up in the city, I just had never seen anything like it. And it seemed so peaceful, and the
Mm,
people seemed happy. The people didn't seem overweight or unhealthy or anything like that. And it was just something about that trip that really made me want to just bring that to my home. And I think that's when I discovered, like, okay, I'm a tree hugger. I'm a
Yeah,
tree.
there's really benefits with hugging the tree. It's just amazing how they're actually alive and they're really helping, the atmosphere.
Yeah,
So,
and they help you. They do something to our hormones or something that I think it releases some kind of serotonin in us. I haven't really done that much research on that, but just seeing those people, they were happy and they didn't have much, but they were
Now,
more than happy.
now, when you hug the tree, you don't think about ants crawling on you or things.
I tell people all the time, like, I love the environment. I care about climate change and everything else, but I hate bugs. I hate bugs. Please get them away from me. I'm scared. I can't do the bugs. I'm sorry.
You're scared? You know, bugs can't hurt you.
No.
So let me ask you this. At 24, there are plenty of 24-year-olds that are out here just trying to get a job. What inspired you? I know you mentioned about the desert at the different environments and that there's not a lot of great options for healthy eating. But what got you to say, okay, this is the business out of all businesses, this is the business that I want to open?
It's actually very funny that you said that, because I actually don't really remember coming up with my business idea. I kind of just tried to start a business for the last 5 years, and I tried everything. I tried drop shipping, meal prepping, phone cases. I sold phone cases. I sold other services, and just nothing really worked out. And then one day, after I prayed, because I am Christian, God gave me the idea that not only aligns with my passions, but also aligns with his will. And I just have to give him 100% of the credit. I have no idea where the idea came from. I just know that he gave it to me and I took it.
So you just received the download and you knew that it was coming from God as opposed to just a fad or just a thought. How did you know this is the true deal, the real deal? How did you know?
I mean, I really knew, because when I tried to take it into my own hands, it never really worked out. And I mean, I was trying to start businesses that I thought would guarantee me money versus trying to start a business that actually solved a problem, which is what businesses are supposed to do. So instead of just trying to figure it out on my own, like I have been doing for the past 5 years, I took it to my creator, and he never disappoints. And I just knew it was from him, because the past businesses that I had thought of myself, they didn't really align with the gifts and talents that he had given me. They didn't align with my green thumb, and that's my passion, and they just didn't align with that. But those were the ideas that came from me, myself. So I just asked him, like, I don't want to do what I want to do. I want to do what you want me to do. So tell me what you want to do, I'll do it. And he told me, so I do it.
And those other businesses were just so practice to get your hands wet, to get experience under your belt. So when the true call came, you knew how to handle it because you went through the ups and downs. So is entrepreneurship challenging for you? What do you like and what do you don't like about it?
It is challenging. I mean, I've noticed a couple pros and cons since becoming an entrepreneur. And I think I'm going to start off positive. So I think my biggest pro is meeting people. That is my absolute favorite part. I love meeting people. I love getting to know people. I love making people happy with my products. And I love being able to make a difference through the products. And I'd say a con is not really knowing what I'm doing half the time. And, I have no problem with like reaching out to people and asking for help and looking for mentorship and things like that. And it's just like, sometimes I don't always find the information that I'm looking for. So I think that's probably a big struggle as an entrepreneur. Like you can look and you can try to find what it is that you need, but it may just take you messing something up in order to figure it out, unfortunately.
That's that part on faith where you don't know all the answers, but you just go with what you know and what you feel, and you're doing the best that you can, and life just unfolds. You just happen to bump into the right people, speak at the right time, and things just come along the journey. That's the challenging part of being an entrepreneur and not knowing all the answers. You're right. So
Yeah.
let's ask you this. Where did the name Dripping Deliciousness, how did that come about?
So when I first started Leakies, I wanted to cater and attract people my age, mostly because we're the ones having the family, starting our families right now. We're the ones kind of um, getting into the economy, leading the economy, replacing, well, not replacing, but working alongside millennials and, getting the boomers out of the way. So I really wanted to target and cater to people in my age range. So when I came up with Dripping Deliciousness, it just sounds like something cool, something hip, something trendy. And people really get a kick out of that. Like they read it and they laugh, and it's just funny.
It is. It's cute. They know what it's about. The name says it. It says dripping deliciousness. It sounds dope. It sounds
Yeah,
like
sounds
something that they
cool.
want to be a part of. So
Yeah.
how do people of your generation, how do they respond to you being an entrepreneur? Are they impressed? Is it no big deal?
A lot of them, I've gotten criticism from a lot of older people compared to people my age. People my
Mhm.
age, they're very supportive because they're they have the same issues that I have, basically. They know that our food's not right. They know that they want better for their kids, and they know that there's a change needed. So they're very, very supportive. They love the product. I think the only thing with people my age is they're just like, is there alcohol in it? I'm just like, no, but you can put some alcohol in there. But they just want to have a good time, and I want to have a good time as well. But we can have a good time the healthy way.
That's right. Good time. I like that. I really like that.
Yeah.
So, what do you see in your future for Leaky's AI juicery?
Oh my goodness. I just have such big plans for the business, honestly. And a part of those plans is incorporating hydroponics and aeroponic towers into my storefront, into my brick and mortars.
Wow.
So what people can expect from Leaky's is to be able to come into the juice bar, the actual establishments, and to be able to see the future when they
Wow.
come and purchase juices. And that is probably the most exciting element about the business. What they'll be able to do is they'll be able to see the juices being made live. It will be limited plastic, so the juices will be served in fruits if you're dining in. But if you wanted to go, plastic will be an option, but mostly fruit cups will be encouraged there. And also, there'll be fresh greenery growing inside of the storefront.
I
And
love it.
yeah, it's really exciting. And the most exciting part about that is not only do people get to witness it and see it for themselves, they also get a certain percentage off if they want to purchase their own and have it in their own homes. I have a partnership with the hydroponics providers. They would be able to get a percentage off of their own towers and grow their own food at home with their kids.
Oh, that
So
is beautiful, beautiful.
yeah,
I want one of those hydronic towers. Is that what it's called?
yeah, hydroponic towers. Yeah.
Yeah, I really want one. I go to the store, the farmer's market all the time, but because my house is kind of small to me. It's small, so I just don't have enough space, I feel, to
Oh,
add all the extra things that I would love to do. But that is
yeah.
something that just keeps pulling at me. And how long does it take? How's the care? How easy is it to
Oh
grow?
man. It's easier than you think. It's easier than you think. Your biggest problem may just be space. If you just want a lot of space for it, that might be your biggest issue. But they really don't take up that much space. Or if you have space outside, that might be more ideal for you.
I
But
see.
as far as care for the actual tower itself, vegetation starts growing after 3 to 4 weeks of building it. And it literally runs off of water and nutrients. So you got your tower, you got your water, and you got the nutrients that come with the tower. That's all that it takes. It grows on its own. You do have to clean it routinely, but that's about it. There's no bugs, nothing like that. It's basically just a modern farming technique.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know about it. They don't know that it's an option, and they don't know that they could be growing their own food, which is where I come into play and introduce them to the concept. And not only that, I also make sure that it's affordable for you and your family. If you purchase it through the business, you can have a pretty nice chunk taken off of the total price, because they can be a bit expensive. Of course, they yield year round after that purchase, but I think they go for maybe $2,000 or less a tower.
Yeah, that's not bad because it's for the rest of your life. You might as well.
Exactly. But still, if I could take some off of there, I will. I will do it for you guys. Anything to make sure that you could get one.
Now, what's the AI in Leaky's AI juicery?
That part refers to the aeroponics and hydroponic towers. Since it's technology and since AI kind of represents technology, I just kind of threw it in there instead of, maybe like Leaky's tech juicery or something like that. I just thought AI had a nice ring to it. And also AI is going to be implemented into the store's app as well. So people will be able to use AI in order to pick whatever they're looking to purchase. So if you're there for a health concern and you want a certain juice for that, all you have to do is type it in the generator, and it tells you which juices that we already have cater to that health issue, or it will give you a custom-made juice that we could make for you. And that's where AI plays in as well. It's just like a juice Google or something like that.
Okay. So are you planning to expand your brand beyond juices, or are you going to stick with just juices? And it's okay. I'm just curious.
I definitely want to expand. Honestly, juices is just to kind of get my foot in the door. Okay. And I want to be able to have a location in areas where they're kind of limited on big retail stores like Kroger and Walmart and things like that. I want my juice bars to be in areas like that, because it doesn't matter what area it is. There's farmers somewhere around there, and I want the juice bars to be able to, do the same thing for those communities that it does here. And after I've kind of gotten done with the juice bar perspective, I want to take the business and actually create its own line of grocery stores. And so it's starting off as a juice bar to connect people with farmers, but eventually I want to connect people and farmers into a actual farmer's store, or maybe just a green grocery store, so that the farmers have somewhere to be. The produce has somewhere to be, and then people have a consistent place to shop for both, if that makes sense.
Oh, definitely. Because my next question I was going to ask you was, were you going to implement your juices into like Walmart and those Publix?
Probably not. I think I'd rather implement them into my own stores or into places where people work. I'd rather implement it in office buildings, schools, college campuses, things like that.
So like a vending machine, or
a shop, maybe a stand. If I want it to be a live experience. That's the only thing with vending machines, because I don't put any chemicals in the drinks.
Right.
that's another obstacle that I deal with as an entrepreneur. The FDA requires chemicals in the drinks in order to sell in those stores because it's not pasteurized or anything. So it does go bad
Quick.
after 5 days. Yeah.
Okay.
3
So
to 5
five days is the life expectancy of the juice.
Exactly. And that's not long enough shelf life for a lot of stores like that. That's why I said I probably wouldn't be able to get in there unless I just kind of conform and put the chemicals in there. And I just don't know about that. I don't know.
So I guess if you were just trying to make as much money as you could, then you would chemicals, but you have more compassion and love for what you do and what you're putting into people's bodies. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, everything matters. Everything matters.
It sure does.
And did you realize that they have a lot of drinks on recall right now? Like waters and fresh juice. Yeah, there are a lot of drinks on recall for possible contamination. So where these drinks are being made in mass quantities like that, this is what happens. You're at risk for contamination. And I kind of rather have a fresh juice that goes bad after a couple days than risk some kind of weird contamination, in my drink. So
that's true.
That's another thing too.
The last time I went grocery shopping, I purchased some juice. It didn't have the label, any fancy label. It just said strawberry and lemons and agave or something like that. But it tastes so much better than when it has all of those chemicals. So I totally understand. I mean, it was just really delicious. You're able to taste the naturalness of it and what our bodies naturally crave. And so yeah, I really commend you on that. So my next question is, when you were growing up as a child, was there anything that persuaded you to have leadership skills or to want to go beyond the average person?
I think the biggest influence on my leadership skills was probably my younger sister. My parents were married and they only had me and my sister, and I was about 3 when she was born. And for some reason, like as soon as my sister was born, everything I did was for her after that. And I don't know why. It just, everything I did was for her after that. Just constantly trying to make sure that I'm a good influence on her and I'm showing her the right way to do things, even through my mistakes. Yeah.
That is beautiful.
My baby sister, it was all her for sure.
Because who knows how your life would have turned out if you didn't have someone that you had to be a role model for.
I mean, she watched my every move. I mean, she would hold on to my shirt and I'd drag her around the house just because she wouldn't let go. And she would never walk without me or anything. So I had no choice but to get it together.
So is she learning about business by watching you? Is she still around you?
She has taken a lot of things from me. She's independent like me. Me and her both, we just got our first apartments together. Well, not together, but she has hers and I have mine. And I think that she got her work ethic from me for sure. Just being able to see me kind of overcome a lot of things gave her that confidence without her actually having to kind of struggle through something herself. She was able to kind of look at me and say, if she can do it, I can do it. And she told me that personally, and that made me feel like really warm and fuzzy inside. But she doesn't want to be an entrepreneur or anything like that. She kind of just does her own thing.
Oh, that's fine. As long as she's an asset to society, that's the important thing. So with your business and your personal life and professional life, how do you balance it all?
I put God first. Everything else is kind of just doesn't, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but putting God first is the balance, because putting anything else first never worked for me. Never. I mean, I would put because I would put my personal life first and say, I'm young, I need to live my life. That didn't work out. And then I put businesses first. They all failed up until I asked God for an idea, and then that went through. And it's just like anything that doesn't start with Him just doesn't end very well. So I put Him at the top, and then everything else kind of just
falls in place.
Falls into place, right? Because since He comes first, I make sure to take care of my body. I pay more attention to take care of my temple more so that He can live through me and talk through me. And then that's where my personal life comes into play. He affects my personal life because I have to really be careful, pick and choose who I give my energy to and who I entertain, things like that. And then it trickles down into my business as well because He opens the doors for me. I can seek, I can knock, but He decides ultimately if they open or not. And then it still trickles down into working because I still work alongside having a business. And He blessed me with a job to where I don't have to work as hard so that when I get home, I can put all of my energy and my time into the business that He wants me to have. So he decided everything, and I just do it,
I love it. I love it. And that's the only way. That's the best way, So I'm glad you're able to tap into yourself and hear the downloads that are being sent to you. So thank you. Is there anything in closing that you would like to leave the viewers and listeners?
I just want everybody to know that a better future is coming. There are chosen people out here. God's people are out here. We're putting in overtime to make sure that me and you have a better future. So don't give up. Keep your hopes high. Stay prayed up. And Jesus is King.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it this time. I love, like I said, young entrepreneurs because you really have to be strong-minded to be able to be brave enough to start your own business. And you're successful because, like I mentioned, your juice was delicious. So I look forward to many more juices. And thank you for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach. I had a great time. Thank you so much.
All right. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I mean, Miss Kyrsten Burch she's phenomenal. She is definitely one to listen to because she's the next generation. And we need to be able to understand how they are so they can understand us, so we can flow together. And she is really on point about a lot of different things, especially keeping God first, because how you do anything is how you do everything. And when it comes to food and drinks and things that are entered into our body, especially, you definitely want to know the person behind the person growing and pouring into your body, because we are what we eat and drink. So thank you. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Beyond Boardroom Business. Again, I'm Coach Stephanie, and until the next time, I'll see you again next week, same place, same time. And until the next time, please stay prayerful, be patient, and be prosperous. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoy